believe in like more of a Christian faith. I'm kind of agnostic with it. We do it come to the terms of our purpose. Although I don't believe I have a purpose, I do believe I have a goal to be better. For the people I love and for myself. Yeah, I believe kind of similar for your purpose. But going back to it, without your mind of the purpose of it, like I was saying earlier, at the end of the day, like in 1,000 years from now, nothing you do today will even never matter. Do y'all ever like find it hard to come to the fact that like you believe you have a reason to keep existing or not?
Personally, all right, were you about to go, Zach? I didn't want
No,
to cut you off.
you got it,
Okay,
brother.
yeah, appreciate it. Personally, I don't think. Okay, this all comes to my mindset, but the way my mind thinks is, I don't believe that like this is it after life. Now, of course, this comes to another complex topic, but the way I look at it, let's say the Earth is still running fine in 1,000 years. I have my own personal beliefs that that might not be the case. Anyway, anyway, long story short, though, let's say the world's like running in 1,000 years. I'm forgotten. Maybe I'm one of the greats, and I'm not. Who knows? Today, I believe there's more to life after this physical existence, and in turn, I do believe my actions I make here will matter. Now, of course, we can get in this afterlife conversation, heaven, hell, or whatever else. But personally, it doesn't really bother me because I don't think anything in my life has a purpose. Now, if you have a different perspective, I can understand why it's hard to grasp. But I think, regardless of the belief, I think anyone, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, atheist, should come to the conclusion: we only have a set time on life. We only have a set time amount to live on Earth. So whether you believe there's an afterlife or not, clearly these actions do matter because you're not going to be able to replicate again. I'm never going to be 18 again. I mean, Zach turned 19, so he can talk about that experience. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way. Shout out to Zach.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Zach. It was his birthday. Yeah. He graduated from the teens, now an Unk 19.
Yep. One more year.
Little bro. I mean, big bro, actually. My bad.
Yeah, shoot, Unk. Anyway, yeah, we're not gonna be 17, 16, 15. We're not gonna be those ages again. 3 years from now, we're never gonna be 18 again. So it's like you always have to take advantage of what you're given because no matter what you believe, you only get one shot at this life on Earth. So
I like that. I like that. Zach, what do you think?
Well, there's a white boy out of Detroit, and he says, "You only have one shot, one opportunity. This is your chance to blow." All right. Anyway, so I was quoting James Winston / Eminem. All right, let's be serious. Listen, I would say
Wilson, Martha Matters. Come on.
James Winston quoted. Never mind. You gotta know ball. You gotta know ball.
Maybe I don't know ball. That's on me. That's on me.
Anyway, I do feel like you're never gonna really, like, in my personal opinion, like, for me, I really never really run out of days where I feel like, hey, like, this day has no purpose. Like, when I was a younger man, I used to be like, yeah, no, this is just a random Saturday. This day has no purpose. But as I've gotten older and I realized, like, every day, every second has a purpose. It just depends on what you do with it. Like, every second, like, I could be doing a essay or doing this or doing that, or I could be chatting. Like, it doesn't mean that I could be always chatting about something meaningful, always chatting about something deep. But at the same time, like, every conversation has a purpose. Even when we're on group calls and we're all laughing and joking and sending reels, like, that has a purpose. It's not always going to be a purpose to change the world. It's a purpose. It could be the purpose for the smallest things, like just having fun. But so I always feel like anything that you do in this life, like I said earlier, has a purpose. And you know, we just have to, like, and I agree with both of you, even, like, we live a short time on this earth. Like, somebody, like, did an analogy with the rope and was like, this is how short life is, and he held it up like this. Like, we really don't have a lot of time on this earth, and like you guys said, I'll never be 18 years old again. So, like, I don't, like, that's what I'm saying, I'll never be 19 years old again. You guys will never be 18 again soon. Well, not that soon, but y'all get it.
No, I got some time. I got some time. I'm still pretty young. You see my skin, you see my cut. I got time.
Not a single wrinkle yet. Talk to me.
But like I said, like, y'all still will see, like, so every day, every interaction, everything has a purpose. It's not always to change the world, because I feel like when we think purpose, we think like, oh, like that means I got to change the world, and then not. And in some cases, like, you're gonna have an opportunity to change someone's perspective or change someone's day, but at the same time, like, not every day you have to be like, oh, all right, I'm gonna change the world. Like, you can be, like, just like, in my bio, the channel is to spread love and positivity. You can spread positivity every day. It doesn't always have to be to change the world. And you can do that a lot of different ways. Like, when you're making someone laugh, that dopamine in their head, like, it's going off, and it's gonna be, good memories. Hamid, you actually talked about this the other day when you were talking about, memories and, being, you know, being memorable
Cut this
to
part out.
certain
Cut this
individuals.
out. Yo.
No,
Hey,
no,
we're
no.
skipping
Like,
over that. We're cutting it right there. We're gonna skip towards because like we're talking about. Hey, you talking about us? You was talking about this when you was trying to convince someone how to get buttons. Like
yo,
you can't.
yo, it's still, yo,
You not let that in,
Are
bro.
we leaving that in? Are we leaving that in?
Not leaving it in. Hey, listen, I'm just giving tips on how to let him get his tip. Like, come on.
all right,
I'm
we're
just trying to let him get
definitely
his bread.
cutting
Like,
that
All
sequence
right.
out.
All right. Well, now we have to cut that out.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
we
Well,
gotta cut that.
well,
I'm saying like I'll say it 3 times right now. I just want to blur the tape. Come on.
the Hotmail files.
the Jaime Files. Yeah, bro. Like I was
All right.
saying, no,
Like you were
like,
saying.
you were, bro, being memorable, bro, being memorable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not every person you're gonna encounter, you're obviously gonna remember you in a certain light. But if you can get, like, at least, 2 to 3 people, like, let's say in classes, like, if you can get like 2 to 3 people, you know, just to get it going, like, that's all that really you need, Um, 'cause like I said, I would be like filling you guys' heads with delusions if I said, like, every person you talk to, everything, like, matter of fact, go up to this random person in the street and tell them this and that and the third, and blah blah blah. Like, that right there, I'm not gonna lie, like, you're you're not gonna be able to talk to everybody. So you just gotta, work with your surroundings, work with what's around you, and make an impact that way. But,
Yeah, that kind of ties back to your purpose too. Because you always talk about trying to be a better man, trying to be a better person. At the end of the day, you're trying to be a better person to inspire others. Like you're trying to be a good person. I can respect that too. Like it's good to be a good person. You know, Acts of kindness inspire more acts of kindness. Just by being a kind person, you can try and make somebody else's day better. You can change somebody's day realistically just by a simple conversation, just by a simple smile. It really does help a lot. So I can understand that. It's good that you're trying to be a good person. But like I said, or like you were saying actually, you can't be nice to everybody. It's a fact. A lot of people are gonna come to facts with. You cannot be nice to everybody. Not only because, first of all, they be dickheads, right? But it's because it'll take more out of you too. Realistic? Can I not say dickheads?
Maybe a little controversial. Maybe a
Can I?
little.
Can I say?
It was borderline. I don't know how Zach. I don't know Zach's audience, but it might
hey,
be viewed
bro,
as a little borderline.
FCC airwaves, bro, airwaves.
Airwaves. Hey.
Keep going though.
Like there be some real cockers. Like I don't know. What's the word?
That was even
What's
worse.
the word? Yeah, that's the word. There be words, but
Jerks,
there's
jerks,
some real grouchy
jerks,
people out there, guys. Like I don't know. Like what can I say?
jerks, idiots,
Oh, you're right.
buttheads. I mean, shoot, there's tons of synonyms you could have used.
My vernacular is kind of short, like a lot of you. I increased my diction by reading. It doesn't stay up here though, sadly. All right, keep it going though. You can't be nice to everybody in life, realistically. It's just a simple fact you got to come down to as you mature. Because realistically, you can try and be nice to everybody. That's the thing. Treat people how you want to be treated. You want to be treated great, be great. But at the end of the day, not everybody's gonna reciprocate that. And you gotta learn to move on because you can't get everybody to like you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so it's good to be a good person, but you gotta learn, like you were saying last time, to love yourself first.
And like, all comes back to self. Let me stop.
It all comes back to it.
But it really does all come back to self love. But that's not the topic of the day. Y'all heard me enough. Talk about that topic enough. But honestly, I think a lot of these topics are complex. We could really go on and on.
Yeah.
But I think I think another question, and this might give people perspective. How do you think we should find our purpose? And if you guys have found it, what would you say that is?
Oh yeah, let me answer this
I can
one.
start off. Okay, yeah, go ahead, go
Nah,
ahead.
fuck that.
I didn't know. Oh, shoot. Yo, God, this is not live, bro. This is live, bro. This guy went.
Yo, this was live. We would have been gone, bro.
Yo, this guy.
We would have been out there. I'm gonna lie to you. All right, you can go, sir. You can go first, sir. I'll respect you. I'll respect it more.
Go ahead,
Nah,
man.
It's your month, you know.
No, let hey, Zachary, you go first. I asked the question. Y'all decided. Y'all flip a coin or something, yeah.
I'll stand up with it. Personally, I think everything can be decided with experience. That's the thing. Like realistically, you can't really just decide who you want to be or like what type of purpose you want to serve without even knowing what the world is. Like a lot of people try, for example, people try to serve like these noble virtues, right? They'll try and be a great person, but the thing is, you can't just decide to do that without experiencing the real world first. Like a rich man will never know he's a thief. I'll say that. If you experience nothing but greatness and you expect to just continue to be a great person because of it, you haven't even experienced the world, and you will never know how to react when you get hit with a cruel reality. You know, I feel like experience is the key to really determining a lot of things in your life. You know, what type of person you want to be, how you want to love, who you want to love, stuff like that. It all comes down to experience. Even just living itself, it all comes down to what you know and how you experienced it, how you learned it. You know, at the end of the day, my boxing coach used to tell me this all the time. At the end of the day, you could practice for 1,000 matches, right? But all of that can be summed up in one real fight. Experience is what determines everything. And granted, that's boxing, but I think it continues in life too. I feel like no matter what you do, the more experience you have, the better you can actually assign your attributes. For example, like I said, a rich man can never be a thief because a rich man never knows he will be a thief because he himself doesn't know his cruel nature. He just believes it due to how he was raised, due to the environment he was in. But once the time comes where he's poor and he's down in his luck, he'll go down to it. He wouldn't like to believe it, but at the end of the day, he will. So I believe experience is what really determines who you want to be in this world, what type of purpose you want to serve, you know? At the end of the day, the more you experience, the more you can really determine, like, I am this type of person. The more you can actually realize who you are and who you want to be.
Mm.
Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
I know. Been doing.
All right. Stop the stuff, please.
Well, I feel like, I think I'm learning more about my purpose every day. I think, like, you get little. I think I've been getting little bits and pieces. I don't think that, like I said, I don't know where the specifics of a like career path that's gonna be, but I know that, right, like just personal purpose, like, you know, I think I have certain things like some people could say like this right here, this video that we're filming, this could be a part of my purpose, because like I said in the last video, like Brother Emmanuel was telling me to do this, and you know, we've got a lot of love on it so far. So it could be things like this, or just motivational speaking, or some people have said get into entertainment. You know, but you know, it's really like I said, I really don't know. But I think that's the cool thing is like just going through it every day, and I feel like it just it's gonna get revealed to me every day that I'm on this earth. Like, you know, and the more interactions I have with people, the more I'll see what it is. And like I said, how I live life at this point is just like, hey, you know, it's not in my hands. So I just kind of I keep it going, keep it pushing, and you know, things will. I believe things will work itself out. I think yes, obviously you have to put in work because faith without works is dead. So you have to put in work and things of that nature. But at the same time, everything is going to work out how it is. We just have to, play our part. But I'm gonna pass it back to you, brother Emmanuel.
Thank you, thank you. Um, I'll first answer the second question. Actually, I think my purpose is. I don't think if I fully found it, but I think stuff like this is part of it. just sharing my thoughts and beliefs. I think I have a unique mindset, and in my personal experience, I found like when I talk to certain people, I can talk to people who have a crazy opposing viewpoint to me, and we can actually have a dialogue. Because personally, one thing about me is I'm not judgmental. I'm actually curious. There was actually a funny story. Like at my community college, someone told me like they were part of a certain group. I don't actually. I'm gonna just say it, and you can edit it out if it's bad, Zach. Someone told me they were a furry at my community college. now, now, personally, most people might have been like, "What the heck?" or like they would have been like, "That's crazy."
Hold on, edit that out.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have hit that tongue motion.
Okay, but yeah, y'all get the point. Yeah.
Low key.
Someone told me they were a furry at my community college. Now, most people would have been like, "What the heck?" or "That's weird." So the way I am, I'm like, "That's interesting." The only thing I did think though was, "Yo, she's brave for telling me that," because if I was afraid, I would have never said that. Anyway, though, I was just curious. Now we didn't get into too big of a dialogue about it because we only had 5 minutes to talk. Because like a get to know you assignment, but I was like, "Wow, that's interesting." But
Hold on,
I
shit,
really,
get to know you assignment.
yes,
On a first meeting type of thing, like
yes,
that's respect. Cause think about it. If I was to go into an assignment and say I like toes, that's a whole different thing. Like the
yeah,
whole
that's what I'm
time,
saying.
it's like I'm just saying, like you could really say like I like toes. The whole time, like, it's crazy. Like, is that worse or is that better than fur? You think? Matter of fact, let's not get into that. Keep going.
Well, it kind of tied into like the topic because it was just basically talking about like, what do you think technology adds to your life, and I was talking about the freedom it gives you to like explore your interest, and then that came up. But anyway, back to the point. I think one of my things just really like learning about the world, gaining perspectives, because I think at the end of the day we're all gonna have our own beliefs and ideals, but I think a lot of us unfortunately are only believing or doing certain things because of what we're told. So I think I can't really put into words, but I think part of that my journey for me is to live my life for myself, not in a selfish way, but live my life and for myself, and really understand why I do what I do, understand why things happen in the world, and maybe just talk about it and share. Of course, I'm on this podcast right now. Maybe that'll translate to something bigger, whether this blows up for some reason, like goes viral, millions of views. Now we on the news or something, or 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 like I do my own thing in the future. Who knows? Now, when it comes to finding your purpose, I really think it depends on the individual, your interests and beliefs. Some people's purpose is just to be a dad, a mom. Nothing wrong with that. But I think some people want stuff bigger than that. And all I think you can do is put yourself in the white room. I don't know who actually did that the last episode, but really put yourself in that white room. Think about what do I like, what do I dislike, and go from there. Sometimes it's not just a quick answer, quick fix. Sometimes you really got to think about it, try new things. It ties back to what Jaime was saying, experiences. But I'm a big advocate for that white room. Might go in there after this podcast. So white room, 5 minutes, nothing, silence, just your thoughts. See what happens. Might be scary. I'm not gonna lie. I had to run out the room after I was done, but still, white room. Anyway.
Hold on. Question. I may have missed it. What is the white room? Because it kind of sounds like a little freaky, bro. What is it?
Okay. So I call it the white room based on the anime called Class of the Room of the Elite. If you know, you know. Now, but really with the white room, it's just a joke I have, but really it's just you sit in your room by yourself, no phone, no distractions. It's just you and your mind. And I was basically making the point that when the self-love video that I don't think a lot of people love themselves because they can't even sit in a room 5 minutes with nothing, no distractions, by themselves. And I said that could be because they're not comfortable with themselves, so there's some thoughts they don't want to deal with. So I said that's like one of the first steps I think personally you can do for self-love amongst other things, just to give you context. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, but yeah, the white room. I'm a big advocate.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, y'all should have done the white room. And if y'all haven't, I'm not gonna lie, then hey, come on now. Y'all gotta do that, man. It's in the special for a reason. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we all make good points here of purpose and things of that nature. And brother Emmanuel, that was a great question right there. But it definitely hey, if we do get millions of views on this, just know we not switching up on our day ones.
I am.
I am.
Let's talk about me and David.
Yo,
David immediately were selling out. Yo, I'm telling you
yo,
everything.
you see, yeah, if y'all ever seen that Drewski meme with him and Jack Harlow, life sure is great, isn't it? And with me and Jaime doing
That's
that
what I'm
rich man
talking about,
laugh.
bro. Immediately, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be up. Y'all gonna be asking for something the whole time. I never knew the man. I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna walk in and we have, especially. See, I told y'all, I don't believe in high school, and this is going a little off topic, but this just to bring in my point. I don't believe in high school reunions. I think it's just the flex or just feel better about yourself. Promise you, if I get rich, I'm going here. I'm not even looking at someone until they kiss the ring on my finger. Yeah, that's how much I'm switching up.
All right. Now he doing a little too much.
No, I'm not doing too much. I'm justified. I'm up.
Like, yo, call me your liege, suck on my finger, and then you can have a little conversation with me. Like, what are we
Hey,
talking
bro,
about?
because once I elevate it, I'm a king status, bro. Anyway.
And realistically, if you have the power to do that, all the power to you. Realistically,
Yep.
if you can get another grown man to get in his knees and kiss your ring, hey, you know what? You got it. I got it.
Aura. Anyway, I am switching up. Letting y'all know. Do not trust me.
All right. He says he says it's documented. By the way, he's not afraid of this shit.
I'm not, because I already know. I already know the power I'm about to hold upon myself.
Exactly.
You guys better get me now in my weak form. Anyway.
You try to.
Anyway.
Damn. better get me now in weak form.
Letting y'all know.
All right,
you're not gonna get a chance like this. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, like I said earlier, like I said, I think it's about experience. I think like you can find out what you like in life by just experiencing different things. And like at the end of the day, you never know what you can't do or don't like until you actually experience something, right? Or at least you kind of try and understand it first. After maybe you just try to understand things. And like Zach said, he made a joke about how this podcast really is like one of those experiences. But I think it's actually a true thing because at the end of the day, he's having multiple discussions about multiple topics, going more in depth into them, trying to get more of a deeper understanding, more insight into what he understands. Like right now we're talking about purposes. Other time he talked about love, all types of love, and the time before that he talked about growth, perseverance. And I got respect for that because at the end of the day he's going through these trials and he's trying to gain further insight and reflect upon himself and see what he really thinks about this type of shit. I didn't mean to. I'm really trying to
Hey,
bro.
you might have to put like PG-13 or something in there. I'm not gonna lie. Unless you're great, unless you want to do all the editing, PG-13.
Like genuinely, Zach. Like you can take out the bigger cuss words. Yeah, I said some hard shit earlier, but I feel like right now, not like that though. Not like that. Not in February. But yeah, I cut that stuff out. But I feel like the smaller stuff, like I feel like I'm gonna say it right now. Shit, I don't think that's a big word.
Hey, bro.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't bother me. But for the younger viewers, maybe they don't need that for their brains as they're developing.
I would say, we have an older audience, so we put this as PG-13. But I still, this episode is gonna be PG-13. But I already knew, like having you on, we were gonna have to put it at PG-13. But it's okay.
I have restrained myself so much, let that be known. I have said I could have said so much stuff. I could have said so much stuff. So many analogies in my head I really wanted to say because I feel like it'd flow better. I keep pausing too because the thing is I keep pausing in between sentences because I catch myself before I say something, and that's another feeling of growth, another feeling of experience. You see, I would go back into the topic. You see this masterful speaker because I'm about to go back into it. I feel like that's another experience I hold myself to because at the end of the day, I'm molded by my environment. If somebody would ask me nature versus nurture, I feel like nature is the person loading the bullet and nurture is pulling the gun, right? It's pulling the trigger. At the end of the day, you are who you are based on both aspects, and your environment has a lot to do with it, right? My environment, I grew up in a terrible location, a lot of cuss words, a lot of stuff said, and I feel like I'm trying to be a better man because of it, though. I want to be better than the person that I was raised to be, and I try to be. I try not to cuss as much. I try not to say a lot of words. I slip up a lot, if I'm being honest. But I'm trying to be better.
Hey,
that's what take back to experience. At the end of the day, the life that you experience, at the end of the day, you're unique. A lot of people don't realize that. But at the end of the day, you are unique. Everything that you've experienced, even though somebody in your exact situation probably experienced something very similar, even twins born in the exact same household, raised the exact same way, often come out different because of their own experience, their own unique personalities. Because at the end of the day, everything that you experience, it's slightly different from the people around you. You are unique, and I feel like no matter what, your experience determines who you want to be and what you can be in life. Because at the end of the day, you determine that. Like y'all saying, I know you believe like a higher power determines that, but at the end of the day, I believe kind of agnostic. that it's up to the person themselves, up to their own reality to determine who they want to be, because they have the power to change. I believe people have the power to change.
I agree. I agree with that statement.
What do you
All right. Hey, now again, I kind of think we should keep the topics. Actually, it's up to you, Zach. It's your channel, but hey, Jaime brought up a great thing: nature versus nurture. I don't know how much people know ball knowledge about that, but hey, I'm not going to get off topic, but just something for y'all to consider. But I think the conclusion. What? Go ahead.
I'm saying it kind of ties back into purpose if you think about it. The purpose for you,
No, it does.
Is it based upon your nature? Is it based upon your nurture? Is it based upon if you were groomed to be a better person? You know what I mean? Like,
it's I don't know. All these topics can connect, and it's a big rabbit hole. Well, I think though ultimately with the purpose, and this is just something a fact that I've noticed, most of us aren't trying to find our purpose to begin with. Now we can all talk about the techniques, we can all talk about our experiences, what we might think that is, but let's think about this right now. And this is no hate to anyone doing this, but we're born, 3-4 years at the house. Now we're in school. Now we're just chilling. We're at school because that's just how it is. That's what we're supposed to do. We're just chilling, going to elementary school. We go to middle school. Now in high school. In ninth grade, they're like, okay, yeah, this is your plan. But ninth grade is ninth grade. Like, what did I do in ninth grade? Absolutely nothing. I was just messing around. So, and anyway, they don't really expect you to take that seriously. 10th grade comes around. They're like, all right, 10th grade, might want to start thinking, but it's fine. 11th and 12th grade, it's all, what are you going to do with your life? What's the plan? And honestly, we're young, so I'm not saying you should expect that, but a lot of our lives are just already predetermined and on a set path by society, the government, parents, etc. Nothing wrong with going to college, but there's some people at our universities that are only there because of societal pressures. And quite frankly, they think they can only be a certain career path through college because they never actually thought about what do they want to do, what's their purpose or whatever. It's just they're doing things just because that's what they've been told. So I think the biggest thing too is getting people to at least try to think about their purpose. It may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, it may take 20, but at least at the end of the day, they tried, they found why they're here, and now they can build off that. But just monotonously, mindlessly going through life, I personally think that's an issue. Now, if you don't think so, that's on you. But I think we should all get the chance to live how we see fit.
I like that. I already do like that. And that's another thing too, because the thing about it is we're young. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how young we are. Like, we're 18 right now, right? Most people that listen to this are probably within the same age range, probably a little older, probably a little younger, right? Zach's 19. Some people might watch this, might be 20, whatever, right? The median age range nowadays is 70 years old. We're not even the third. Sometimes 80. We're not even the third, maybe not even the fourth of the way through our lives right now. But realistically, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, don't determine what they want to be or who they want to be until they're fucking 30. Ooh, bleep that. Bleep that. My bad. Listen,
Oh yeah, fun fact: it's 79 years old in the United States.
Basically 80.
So basically 80. But we going absolutes. We going absolutes anyway.
Yeah, but still 79. I would still say a fourth because we're 18, right? Realistically, we're
pretty
not
much.
20, yeah, a fourth of the way through. And the thing is, we have so much life to live. A lot of people don't really determine who they want to be or what they want to do with their lives until they're 30. And the thing is, people be stressing about it so much too. Like, oh, I got to determine it right now. I got to determine it for the next 2 years. Like me, myself, I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a cybersecurity guy, right? But that was in junior year. I mean, I was stressing about this since freshman year. People are going to be stressing about it by the time they're finishing the degree in college. Some people will finish the degree and still don't even know what they want to do. Like David was saying, some people are just doing it because of societal pressure. They feel like they have to continue this legacy or continue doing something because of the people around them saying they have to do it. But a lot of time, like, you just have to experience life. At the end of the day, nobody can tell you what you want to do because the thing is, it's your life. And you can continue to live for others, but you never really be happy. You never really enjoy your life. You can't really say you will ever find a purpose if you continue to live like that. You can't really say you ever actually enjoy your existence if you continue to live like that. Like, we were talking about existence earlier, and the big thing about that is regret. I feel like a lot of people that are pushing to these examples regret their life because of what they're forced to do or because of the decisions they're forced to make. And the thing about it is, at some point, you got to determine to be your own person. Like, realistically, it comes down to that. And granted, there's a lot of struggle with that. But it's like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I keep saying it. I keep thinking about that one Kanye song, "It All Falls Down." Like, the majors that she majors in ain't make no money, but she can't drop out because the parents will look at her funny. Like, I'm saying, like, it's really about insecurity. You got to be secure about yourself. Be confident that at the end of the day, you'll make it. You can do it. You just got to keep trying for it. It'll take time. A lot of people gotta understand that it will take time. If you want to make changes, it's not gonna start today. I mean, it will start today, but it's not gonna happen for like tomorrow, next week, next month, probably not even in a year. But it will happen eventually. Perseverance and patience, it will grant you that. Realistically, you just gotta keep trying. And the thing is, you never gonna be happy until you actually do try, though.
True.
Very true. Very true. I mean, I think, yeah, like Hammond's point of nature versus nurture. I think where you were raised, who you were raised around, I think definitely, you know, is a big part of your personality. I mean, let's be honest, we as it's human nature to want to copy, to want to, to want to be, our environment because at the end of the day, we all are products of our environment. Think about it. If you were, grew up in a different place or if you grew up in a lot of different places, then it's going to be a lot of different things in your nature. And so, I think it's a big thing to really think about because like Dave said, you can go through life mindless. If your whole life is picked out for you before you even get to, I mean, think for yourself, you're gonna be a person that doesn't have the ability to, as Dave was saying last podcast, be a free thinker. I mean, you gotta. It's being a free thinker is not easy when you think about it because a lot of people they just do things because they see other people do it. That's why a lot of people party. That's why a lot of people do certain things. So when you go against the grain and whatever that is, like even being in college, I know I'm in college, but I'm in college not because of you know anybody else. It's because of myself. It's because of my own personal drive. You guys are in college not because of you got like not because of anyone else, but because of your own personal drive. And I want to give someone a real shout out. I mean, shout out Jaime, bro. He's about to graduate this year, not because of not because he was told to, but because of his own personal drive. Like, you know, and I think like that's one of those things where like you guys got to start creating your own personal drive because you see a lot of people that drop out of college or drop out of this because they realize like, dang, I was only in here because of my parents. Or even people who drop out of high school. They're like, dang, I really just didn't really care about the school thing. Like I was here just to be here. And I think that is also in the conversation as well, because you see certain stories about people like being in a very bad nature but still making it out, but then you also see people who they grew up in a bad nature and it consumes them. So it's a lot of different things, like and it goes back to purpose. Your nature and where you grew up in kind of like in a way, if you're not a free thinker, will determine your purpose. But it's a deep topic. You know, I think it definitely also ties back into self love as well.
It all
But
ties back to self love.
Self love.
It
self
all ties
love,
Wait,
back to
room.
self love.
Wait.
come on. I mean, and like like we said in the last episode, self love is really important. But to this episode, purpose is important. That's right.
Yeah.
And
100%. And and I think I want to bring some facts. I must every time I'm on here, I'm gonna start bringing some facts. So while y'all were talking, I took the liberty to look up some of the biggest fears people have at their death, and the biggest one ties into not only purpose but self love. So we have a 2-for-1 special.
Always
The
comes back.
biggest regret, and I quote, according to Gemini. So of course, do your own research. But
Gemini.
according to Gemini, my trusted friend, it said the biggest regret people have when they're dying is I wish I had the courage to live a true life to myself, not the life others expected to me. This is the most common regret as people realize their dreams went unfulfilled. So you can interpret that as they didn't have the self love, not saying they hated themselves, but they didn't actualize or reach the full potential of self love, and they also felt they didn't complete their purpose. Because at the end of the day, we all know our time is limited. But if we leave saying, I did what I want to do, I lived my life, no regrets, boom.
Yeah, actually,
What
I
do you,
was thinking
yeah.
that. So I know I've said it before to you guys in the chat. I've said it a few times to my friends and family, but I'll say it to people on the call right now, or people that are listening to this. Like they were saying, a lot of regret sometimes come down to the fact that people, at the end of their lives realized they didn't live the life they wanted to live because of their own fear. They let their fear hold them back, right? And I'm telling this to anybody that's listening to the call too. At the end of the day, you just gotta take a chance when it comes to you. Any opportunity you see, if you want it, take it. Because if you let fear lead to an action in your life, if you let fear if you let fear take control of you and lead to an action, you let it take control and make it so that you don't take any opportunity. You try to live in a bubble, your security. Then at the end of the day, you're never gonna take any opportunities. No chance gonna get to you because you're never gonna take it. You gotta learn to, even if it comes to risk. You gotta decide if you with your own judgment if it's worth that risk. Because at the end of the day, you let fear grant you in that little bubble, you can find yourself deep down and you never try to succeed to be better than you are today. Then you're just gonna stay in that place, stagnant, like still water.
Yep.
Can get no buns too, like.
Okay. Yeah.
No buns, no money, no bitches. Like, come on.
But yeah. Oh, the reason I said that quote because Jaime already shared this thought. I was curious, like, what y'all had to say about that because I thought that quote was just interesting. Hey Zach, any motivational words?
I mean, I think, and I think for a lot of my audience, like, you guys may not be used to how Jaime says certain things or how he talks, but like, listen, I think, this is this is the reason why he's great to be on the show because, like, me and Brother Emmanuel, we have very similar beliefs. And, I think for those of you who are watching, I think you guys got to see, like, you got to see other perspectives. And so that's why it's great to have Jaime on. But I agree with this point in this. Fear does hold you back. And for anybody who is a Christian, like, fear is not of the Lord. So when you're living your life in fear, when you're living your life afraid, like, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna carry out your purpose. Like, that's when Brother Emmanuel was like, "Oh, Zach, you should start doing blogs or doing this." I could have been afraid and texted him and be like, "Yo, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." Or even our Valentine's Day special, I could have been like, "Hey, well, I don't have a Valentine. I don't know how it's gonna be perceived." Or even this episode today, I could be like, well, I don't know, guys. The last one, it was bad. It was bad here." But I think your fear is always gonna hold you back. And I think, when we talk about using judgment, like, personally, if you're religious, you can ask God to guide you where you need to be. But if you're not, you gotta use your judgment because you can't live your life in fear. Now, I'm not saying live your life reckless. Like, I'm not saying, to Jaime's point, ask out every girl you know right now. Because
Listen, hey, can we cut that part? Listen. I may have said some things. Lose that little segment of what I said earlier, but all I'm saying is he's right. Because at the end of the day, you have to have judgment. Like Zach was saying earlier, some people don't really continue the college path, some people don't continue the high school path because they drop out early because they want to, right? But the thing about it, you can do that if you have a plan, you have a goal. You gotta be smart over it. You can't just be making like your selfish decisions. Granted, take the path you want to take in life, but at least don't do it recklessly. Be smart with it. And like he was saying before, I get like that's the path you see for rich people, and I can understand that. Me myself, whenever you feel fear, whenever you want to continue doing something but you're afraid of the opportunity, understand this: courage isn't the absence of fear; it's the presence of fear. But you continuing to push through it. You continuing to persevere. You continuing to try and be a better person despite knowing what the recklessness that can hold you back today. And granted, like I was saying before, if you let fear lead to an action, and you let any opportunity pass you by, then at the end of the road, you can never really say you lived a life.
100%. And I want to drop you with a couple of quotes because we're gonna validate our points for my biblical people. In the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. This is not a Bible class, but I'm just saying. It says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but the power of love and self-discipline." But let's say that's not your thing. Hey, we got a quote from Marcus Aurelius, and this ties into exactly what Jaime just said. "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." It ties back into the quote about what people think before they die. And then one more thing I want you to think about. If you ever watched A Bronx Tale, great movie, what does Sonny say? Nobody cares. And this is kind of a little. This is not saying that you shouldn't care completely about things, but at the same time, you mess up or the girl rejected you. It might suck in the moment, but really, nobody cares. Let's think about people 2,000 years ago. There might have been this guy 2,000 years ago scared to ask about this girl. We don't know about that. They're all dead. It's all gone. Nobody cares. Not saying you should just be doing the craziest things, but you have to keep in mind this problem is just a small problem in this massive big world. Of course, you're gonna have fear, but just push through it. Because, like Sonny says, nobody cares. Anyway,
Yeah. And I like that too. I like that because realistically, it ties back to the fact that, granted, I mean, I like the word YOLO. I really do. Because at the end of the day, this is your only life. But like realistically, what happens today might determine what happens tomorrow. But a year from now, it's not gonna affect that. Realistically, what you do today, like people will judge you for it. Yeah. But why should you care? I'm not saying you should act without belief for anybody else. You shouldn't act for your own selfish desires. But at the end of the day, why do you care? Wear the outfit. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, like do what you want. Eat that food. If you worry you're gonna get a little big with it, who cares? It's your
nobody
life.
cares.
It's your life.
Yep.
And continue with it too. Granted, it is your only life, but you should also consider everybody else is only living once too. Granted, somebody may be older than you, but because they make a decision that you don't like, you gotta understand it is their only life as well. You should be understanding. Granted, instead of deciding ignorance, trying to understand that like everybody has only lived once so far. Maybe they haven't gone through the same experiences you have. Maybe somebody else hasn't experienced the same trials you have. Maybe they haven't gone through the hardship. So if somebody else ever does something, instead of trying to decide it's ignorance, just try and decide they haven't lived that portion of their life yet and be kind.
Mm. And I mean, there to take it even deeper than that. There's a song out there called "Love Yours" by Jermaine Cole. And
Ooh,
Okay, here we go.
Jermaine, Jermaine, like, hey, don't get me started. Yeah, keep talking. I like it too.
and one of the lines is, "There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours." And you
How do you
got
do it?
you got to love yours. And listen, we in this world, we can get, especially people our age, can get so wrapped up in other people's lives. We get so wrapped up. And yes, this kind of ties into self-love a little bit, but like I said, we get so wrapped up in other people's lives. As me and brother Emmanuel were talking about last week for Valentine's Day, you guys get so wrapped up in other people's lives and what other people are doing that you didn't take a chance to pause and think about what you were doing, how you're doing things. And I think, like, it's definitely one of those things where you gotta love yours. You gotta love every second, because like both Jaime and brother Emmanuel said, like, at the end of the day, nothing's gonna matter, you know after some time. And yes, every day the decisions that you make, they're gonna affect the next day or your next week. But in a year, you're gonna be in a different spot than you were. It's just natural, you know. But yeah, I'll pass it back to y'all.
I 100% agree. Um, I don't know. I feel like we kind of stressed enough about this topic, but I will say, in general, I think the main theme y'all should take is please, please, please search out for your purpose. Please, please, please understand why you live, why you do the things you do. Understand why you went to college. Don't just say that's kind of what you do. That's what expected. That's my only route. Have a solid plan. I'm not demonizing college, but again, I feel like a lot of us make decisions based on society, what other people tell us to do. Also, oh wait, hold up. All right, hold up. Time out. All right. So, yeah, I think really the biggest thing I would stress is please move with intention and a purpose. That was my biggest message of self-love, because I feel like for self-love, you have to intentionally try to love yourself, because naturally there's things in this world, there's things in this society to make sure that you're not comfortable or that you don't love yourself. And I'm hearing myself. I sound like a Charlie Brown character. I'm not gonna lie. It might be cooked. It might be cooked, Jaime. It might be cooked. I saw Zach's face. I'm like, yeah. It's
Yup, you're
over.
the issue now. Yup.
No, you're the issue.
Cut them off. Cut them off.
Bro, keep going, Dave. It's fine, bro. Keep going.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
All right,
If
3,
Zach gets roasted,
2,
I warned
1.
him.
Boom.
Essentially, Move in life with intention. Know why you're doing your things you want to do, whether it's purpose, whether it's self-love. We only have one shot on this earth. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. Not saying you don't submit to authority at times, but at the end of the day, it's your life. No one's going to advocate for you more than yourself. No one's going to care about your beliefs more than yourself. And quite frankly, for a lot of us, of course, we have loved ones, but you should be caring about your life more than anyone else. This is your one shot that you've been given, whether you believe by the creator or universe. So live it to the fullest. Don't be like the masses. No shade to the masses, but don't be like the masses on their deathbed saying, "I wish I could have did this. Why was I so scared to ask her this girl? Why didn't I take that job?" I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Yeah, I'll say that too. I actually want to agree on that too, because at the end of the day, he's right. Realistically, your life is up to you. You gotta understand, because a lot of people, when they try going to these paths, they just do it to try and fulfill their role. Because a lot of people just believe that they gotta fulfill the role, right? But you gotta understand, why do you do what you do? At the end of the day, everybody wants to be happy. At the end of the day, everybody wants to have their roles fulfilled. It's like, why do you do what you do? Some people just do it just to exist, to fulfill their desires, right? But how can you fulfill your desires the best? Is it by one, just doing a role, doing something that everybody tells you to do in order to fulfill that role, and then just doing it needlessly until the day you die? That's not gonna make you happy. That's not gonna do it for you realistically. If you don't want to die and just think about all the things you could have done better in your life, do them then. Live. Because if you don't, then it's not already gonna have anyone to blame but you. Realistically, you can't blame the people that put you in that role because you decided to follow their orders. You can't blame the institution that you enrolled in because you decided to do so. At the end of the day, every decision is up to you. And like Dave and Zach were saying earlier, granted, they believe in a higher power. They believe it is written, it's already pre-foretold, and that what we're doing right now will kind of just characters in the book. I can respect that. I can respect your beliefs. But even then, even as characters, it's up to you to make the decision. The author gave you a purpose, and you're supposed to fulfill that role. You're not supposed to keep playing these sad, I almost said it. I'm these sad.
They know what you said. They know what you said.
I said fuck. I said fuck. I keep talking about the Vietnamese stew for all they know. I love me some fuck. I love me some fuck, realistically, but like, still, just be better. Try and live for yourself. And I'm not talking about be selfish. I'm not talking about do shit, sin, do stuff with sin. But live to your own boundaries. Live to be better. Live to enjoy your life. Live for the opportunity that you have. I can't not cuss. Come on. I'm trying. I really am trying. Like, oh my God.
Hey. New Year's resolution, new goal.
Life is just like a meat. It gets hard sometimes. You gotta make sure to keep it going though. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When life beats you, you gotta beat life. Like, come on now. Keep it going. Come on. I got faith in every single one of you motherfuckers. Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
I get hyped, bro. I get hyped. I lose track when I get hyped.
Hey, one thing they can't say is that you're not passionate.
That's what I'm saying. To all the viewers out there,
one thing I can't say is I don't got passion for real. We're cutting this out of the way. We're cutting this out of the way. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know if we are.
Are we?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, you guys, yes, the words that come out of Brother Jaime's mouth may not be the most ideal words, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. One thing you can't discount is his passion. He's got a lot of passion. That's why we love him. He's got a lot of passion, and like Brother Emmanuel and I spoke on last week. It was the brotherhood that we have in the GC. There's so many different perspectives. There's so many different ways of thinking, and I think, like, in life, it's better to surround yourself with people who don't always think like you, because, like, then you're able to widen and deepen your perspectives. Because if you only think, it goes back to our way of being a free thinker. If you only think of one way, if you only see things a one way, you're never gonna really be able to clearly give answers, because it's only gonna be one way of thinking, one way of logic for you. So that's why it's good to introduce yourselves to different perspectives. So you guys out there may not always have a friend group where you guys can throw in a bunch of different perspectives, but in your classes, if someone says something that you don't agree with, before you go ahead and judge them, before you go ahead and say, "Oh, you're wrong," hear their perspective first and then respond.
No, I
You
like
know?
that. I like that. I really do like that though, because the thing is, differing perspectives offer new viewpoints in your life, which offer new paradigms which you can gain for insight. Like Zach was saying, the more people that you surround yourself with, or the more people that you talk to in your life, or more. I would just say this: you don't even have to talk to them. Just try to understand them. Try to understand where they're coming from. Try to understand why they do what they do. Granted, a lot of people do different things that you would probably never try in your life. Like Dave was saying earlier, I don't know. We kept the part in. He talked to a furry. She was nice. Apparently, I don't know. I didn't meet.
Okay.
I
And
didn't meet the furry, but she
I
was a
did
nice
do
person.
that, but
She was a
let's
nice
not
person.
let's
The thing is, he tried to understand her, understand where she's coming from. Why does she like her freak? Because that's her thing. Listen, just because she likes things a certain way doesn't mean we should treat her like she's a person. She's still human. I'm not trying to make it sound crazy. Like, listen, a lot of people like different things. At the end of the day, all of us are human. If we all an egg, we all yolk on the inside for real.
see.
Think about that.
And I agree with that, but let me just paint the picture. So I'm not painting in a certain light. Hey, it was a class assignment. I didn't choose my partner. She just ended up talking about her being a furry. I was like, that's interesting. Not that I would join. I mean, no disrespect to the furries. That's just not my way of life.
You
I
ain't
was just like,
entertain
that's
it.
interesting. You said what?
You ain't entertain it.
Nope. I think that was interesting. She told me, and I was just like, all right, well, she already admitted it. I guess what does a furry do? Because personally, I know the term, but I'm not in that community. I'm not going to be looking that up.
Genuine question. Away from the podcast, actually. Did she mention what type? Because there'd be different types. There'd be like a whole like.
See, and
She like
that's
one
the
of them
thing.
scaly. She
Oh
wanted
yeah,
to like want to know like a little bit. Like, she mentioned
and
that.
again, since we're already off topic for the podcast,
Curiosity.
um, she's 19 and she's married too.
Wow. That's
That is kind of quick.
that's
That is
crazy.
kind of quick.
That's crazy.
That's not. I mean,
Because
granted, I won't say like love has boundaries unless she's dating like an old ass dude. But like,
yeah, well, she has a husband, and when she said that to the class, I was like, okay, well, it's ACC. She's gonna have there's like all different ages. So I'm like, okay, she's like 20 something. We get to know you. She's 19. I'm like 19. Now we only had 5 minutes, and I really didn't want to start prying people's personal life. But in my head, if we had a longer conversation, I've been like, what made you want to get married at 19? Like, no judgment, just pretty early compared to most of us.
hey, them furries got money. Them furries got money, bro. Have you seen how much them shit cost? They cost like I think
See,
40, 30 for like 40. I'm talking about bands too. Bands for a whole one of those.
and
Like it's crazy, bro. They got money.
I'm not sure because, and exactly, you probably had this out. I'm not sure because I know the different categories. There's like just people like dressing up as animals, and there's people who just, hey, I'm gonna let you fill in the blanks.
Nah, that's a whole different thing, and that's gross.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it is because the thing is, I think it's different people that dress up and people that just like animals. I feel like those are two different groups. I'd like to believe those are two different groups too, because that's gross, you know?
Well, I don't know. The way how someone told me is like you could like there's furries that fall into that category. Again, I don't know. This is like a whole topic for yourself. Completely off topic, but yeah.
Just to be honest.
So what?
I'm gonna leave it blank. I don't want to like fill in the blanks in my mind because I feel like if I find out that there are people that do that, I'll hate that whole community. And I'm not trying to do that because there's old people. But at the end of the day, like that's inhumane. You know what I mean? Those are animals. You know, I love my cat. That's fucking weird. I don't know. You couldn't tell off her aura. You know what I mean? Like, is she a salamander? Like, type shit. Like,
well,
I feel like intuitively, I feel like I have the ability to tell how people are. Now, I feel like I got a good read. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have yet to be wrong with my gaydar. If I'm being so dead ass. Every dude that I was able to tell, I feel like he's zesty. He was. And I got respect for the LGBT community. I got him in my family, right? I felt like my cousin was before he really came out. I'm like, matter of fact, I feel like someone that ended up with little bro, he really was gay. So I'm telling you, I feel like if I met a furry, I'd be able to be like, you know what? She probably like a German Shepherd type of species. She probably like a type of genus. Like I thought I could really categorize them. But that's just my intuitive thinking. You know what I mean? Like,
see, okay, and again, since we're already off topic, she came off as like and no offense, if this is recorded, no offense to this community, this is what she came off as. She came off as a liberal. She had dyed hair. I thought she may have been in the LGBTQIA community. Oh no, LGBTQIA plus community. See, I'm politically correct. I thought she may have been. Huh? No. I say all the words, bro.
You going for the whole thing?
I'm with the time.
Oh,
Anyway,
my fault.
but
My
no,
fault.
yeah, but on the real note, yeah, I thought she was more in that community. She probably is, but then I found out she's married, has a husband. I don't know. If I really wanted to, I probably could figure out, but I don't want to come off like I'm just trying to get info. It's just interesting how she just said all that.
You can just tell her straight up. I'm not lie to you. There have been a few times in my life where I've genuinely just gone to people like out of curiosity. Like, I even told them like I'm saying this just like purely because I'm curious. Like I've never experienced something like this. Like, can you give me some more information? And they're most of the time, 90% of the time, they're more than willing because they're like genuinely. People like to talk about themselves. They love to talk about stuff. Like my thing was, I'm not gonna go into actually what I was asking. Matter of fact, because the cameras are rolling. But I don't know.
No.
I feel like people love to talk about themselves, and you actually genuinely go up there with just pure curiosity. Most of the time, they're willing to like actually answer questions. So.
Yeah, I think so too. But honestly, it's been like a week or two since we had this conversation. So if I was ever go up now, it would be like, dang, this was really on your mind. I don't know. If it happens again, I get the chance, I will. Anyway, I'm ready to go back to the podcast topic. But yeah,
You're right. Self-love, guys. Do you love yourself?
because honestly, this all ties back to self-love. You would never chose the furry outfit if you didn't love yourself first.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Hey,
Them furries, they spend hella money on themselves because they love themselves. Them 30K suits, they do it because they love themselves. Think about
see,
that.
they realized the purpose wasn't complete until they put on the mask. Anyway, stop.
Nobody loved me till I put on the mask. Come on now.
hey, I will say, I think I personally am not a furry by any means, but what I will say is that being married at 19, that's kind of crazy. As a 19-year-old myself, I mean, hey, who knows what happens during this year, bro? Might be time,
Hey, it
so
might be
that
your time. I'm sensing 3 kids this year.
yo, this guy.
Hey, you got it, Zach.
Hey, what's that Wale song? If it's a question of my heart. All right, let's stop. But anyway, listen, like, everybody, they're always going to feel a certain way about their purpose. And that person's purpose was, if that person's purpose is being a furry, then, ah, that can be debated in different ways, but we won't touch that right now. But what I will say is, I think, one thing you have to love about this and episodes like this is our curiosity. Like the three of us, we don't like it's curiosity. Like when somebody asks you a question about your faith or about your lifestyle, it's not because most likely it's not because out of judgment. It's out of just curiosity, like plain curiosity. Like we just want to know. It's not about like, oh, like I'm trying to get this so I can make a joke on you or anything like that. It's just pure curiosity. And I think that's where in our world today we've kind of fallen off from is people are afraid to ask questions because they're afraid of getting backlash for pure curiosity. So I
That
think
kind of like what I was saying earlier too. You should understand, everybody, like you only live once, right? But this is also everybody else's first chance of living. Whole time when somebody makes a mistake, and instead of assuming ignorance, instead of assuming idiocy, assume ignorance. They probably just don't know any better. A lot of times they want to be better, and just because somebody's trying to ask a question doesn't mean you should judge them for that. You know what I mean?
exactly. So I think that these are all great points, and I'll let you guys take the final thoughts. Is if there's any final thoughts you guys have the floor. You guys can say them.
Dave, you go first. Dave, you go first.
I'll start it off. First off, this all ties back to self-love. Anyway, on a real note, first off, I appreciate you having me on here again, Zach. I appreciate Jaime for being here. Introductory. We're supposed to have the other member, but maybe he'll be here for the third time. To excuse my stutter. It's my first time living here. Give me some grace. Anyway. Anyway, but honestly, I appreciate it. Hey, chat. I know these be long videos. I know we be having a lot of yap sesh, technical difficulties, just goofy moments. But anyone who actually watches these to the end, who actually, is locked in, dialed in, give us some topics in the comments section. Now, ultimately, we let Zach come to the final conclusion because this is still his channel. We are guests. But in general, we like dialogue. We like talking to y'all. If there's anything y'all want help with, go ahead, put it in the comment section. Whether Zach will make an individual video or if you want all of our perspectives, we'll come on here and talk. Because at the end of the day, end of the day, that's all this is all about. So I appreciate y'all having me on here. I'm looking forward to being back, whether it's next week or next year. You know, I'm always ready. So I'm gonna pass on to Jaime.
Like they were saying, I do appreciate Zach for having me on this. I'm sorry for anybody that was having listened to me, over time if I stuttered, spoke too quick, cussed, or said something obscene. I'm sorry. I really am trying to hold myself back and be a better person. I try to be better than I am today. I'll probably be better tomorrow. I'll say like one less cuss word, although I know it's not true. I'll try. And so the thing is, I'm sorry for anybody that had to hear me. Thank you, Zach, for having me on here. And like Dave was saying, at the end of the day, it's night. So enjoy life for what it is. Also, I don't know if Zach will have me back on here for what I've said today. Hopefully he does. I completely understand because there's a lot of parts he has to cut out for stuff that I've said. A lot of the stuff he cuts out entirely on me. But I appreciate it though.
I have to cut that out anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this: enjoy life. Enjoy life. There's so much beauty in the world. You shouldn't restrain yourself to your own boundaries right now just because you're afraid.
Yes, hey, and I think you both put it beautifully. What I will say is, while this is my channel, I think to go back off of Brother Emmanuel's point. Yes, let us know in the comment sections, like our discussions, what we talk about. We usually all kind of discuss what we want to talk about. But if you guys have something that you really want us to talk about, like let us know. Like obviously, the self-love episode last week, that was all the topic that Michelle brought up. So, like you guys can interact, like, you guys, and I'll take it a step further. Like, hey, if you guys want to join in, that session with either me or all of us, let us know. And we'll be glad to talk to you because, it's one of those things. This is an open platform. This is an open channel. Like, a lot of my videos is just me talking. So, hey, like, come on in. Like, I embrace it. If you didn't like something that I said today and you're like, oh, well, I want to come on and say it. Or if you didn't like what Jaime said today, hey, come on and say it.
And if you don't like what I said, come on here because I love arguing. I love it.
He does actually. He does.
It's not even because I want to argue. I love debate. And I love proving people wrong. Even if I know I'm in the wrong, I'll just love arguing to make them know that they're not sure of their facts. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's right. It's who the audience chooses, But at the end of the day, if you've seen it this far, I love you. And I mean that, like, wholeheartedly. I love you. Like, if you've seen this, I don't even know you, but, like, I probably do love you right now. Like, that's real love. By the way, like Zach was saying, anybody wants to come on here, talk to him, talk to us. I don't know if Zach will have me back on here, but if I am on here, I'll argue you. They can argue you. Zach's pretty good at arguing too. And we all love talking. I love talking maybe a little too much, to be honest.
Hey, I mean, and how many you put it there, bro? I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're gonna be back on here, bro. You're allowed to be back on here, bro. For my audience out there, like I said, I'm gonna leave a lot of takes in here just because, like, this is how we actually are. Like, this is the authenticity that I was talking about.
Hold on, listen. Some of the things I said shouldn't be aired out. Like I understand it. I understand. You should let but some of the stuff I said, it's a minor portion. I'll just bleep it. Maybe if I start talking, just burn me out for a little bit. Just some of the stuff. I'm just saying. If you want to, if you get a choice, my grandmother would
Bro, definitely. There's gonna be some stuff edited out of here, but I think a lot of stuff will make the final cut. But like I said, like, it's about authenticity. It's about self love, and I think one of the big things here is I don't know about them, but I'm grateful to have this platform. Even though I only have 15 subscribers, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for everyone who watches. I'm grateful for these guys for coming on because they took time out of their day to come on and join me on this podcast. So, there is another one of us, and hopefully we can get him on at some point. But we'll have to talk offline, off camera about that one. He's, I can't wait to have him on at some point in time. We want him on, but we'll have to talk off cam about that because I don't want to expose too much about what he's doing. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that off cam. But I'm really grateful to have these guys on, and I'm really grateful for you guys watching. If you made it this far, we apologize about the angles, the technical difficulties, certain words.
We don't apologize for angles. You apologize for angles. We upright. Look at this. I'm standing.
Yeah.
You perfect.
No. Upright is me. Cause Zach looking like this,
Yo,
and then
Zach like this whole
and
time,
Zach
like
like
look at
this,
my
and then
body immaculate.
Jaime got an echo. So at the end of the day, I'm the only one coming correct.
Jaime
And
got
by
the
the way,
echo. David, you
yeah,
was blurring out earlier. Your Wi-Fi laggy as hell, by the way.
yo,
Now
yo,
you gotta upgrade
yo.
your Spectrum maybe. Like
This
you
is
gotta
my
get
first
some.
time living. Giving me grace. This is my first time living. Giving me grace.
Oh, this is your first time living.
Yo,
I'm saying
give
right
me
now,
grace.
I've been told you though, you gotta upgrade that Wi-Fi. Come on.
Yo. Anyway, and before we close out, on the side note, if we ever get that special guest, I'm exposing him when he joins because I'm not.
If the
He was not.
milkman comes on here,
He was not busy. He was not busy.
he was.
He put certain people over the mission. Hey, anyone who has been friends with people before, when you get to a certain age, bro, certain priorities overtake others, but in the long term, it's not worth it. But hey, he put females over the mission. I'm sorry, he
And some
put
of us
females over the mission.
sacrificing to be here right now. Some of us sacrificing to be here right now. Some of us putting so much lot to be here.
Anyway,
Like, come on, like he got no love for the game. He got no love for the mission. Like whole time he over there, he probably not even doing nothing too. He probably on his phone scrolling the Instagram reels. What he doing? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Sacrificing my homework right now, my essay, my whole lab report. I put that on pause. My Linux report, I put that on pause.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say, but the other thing, oh my god, it's hurting me. It's like a stick to my heart. But like I do it for the mission. I do it for this.
And like I said, that's what I'm saying. I appreciate you guys' dedication to this because, like I said, our other member is currently doing something. He's not sacrificing. Each one of us are
He not
sacrificing to
even
be
gonna
on.
get nothing. He not even gonna get nothing. Like realistically, what he gonna do? What he gonna do? Like someone, oh, she bad. Whole time he on his phone scrolling, probably like, what's going on here? But hey, okay.
Hey, he got lots to answer for when he comes on. If he ever gets on the camera, he got a
He
lot
will.
to answer.
He's got a lot to answer. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Final closing statements from me. I want to say, God bless you all. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate all of you. You guys don't see how much work it takes sometimes behind the scenes to record these videos, to get everything going. So I appreciate you watching this far. This is probably going to be another really long video, but I appreciate you watching it. So with that being said, I of course thank Jaime and Brother Emmanuel for being on. And, that's a good word. Peace, y'all.
Yep.
You know what else is long?